Don't you guys just love neighbors? About halfway through this video, and my neighbor comes up and starts to talk to me. Well, that's great. Now I'm redoing this video because my camera is a shit-face camera and does not have a pause function. And I think I'm about to get interrupted again. Yep. I'm about to get interrupted again because my brother's home. Wow. That's great. That's great. Yeah, because I can hear the shitty car. Fuck him. Anyway, let's see, what was I talking about before I got interrupted there? Okay. I just finished up 2 more wirings for this tutorial. I'll show you guys those, but we might run into a little problem because it seems on the L1 pad I have lifted the actual pad. And wait, who else is here? Hold on. I'm not turning the camera off because I'm not redoing this video.
What are you doing with your camera?
What?
What are you doing with your camera?
Making a tutorial.
Making it what?
A tutorial.
What do you mean making it a tutorial?
What?
What do you mean?
I'm making a tutorial. Is it that hard to do? Yeah, go inside, you little nerd ass. Sorry about that. Okay, so it seems that I've lifted the L1 pad on the Pulse, and if I touch this cable right here, then the pad will come completely off and this project will be done for. So I've got to be very careful in these next few steps not to lift that pad completely. But right now I'm going to show you guys the next 2 wirings for the set. Last video I showed you how to wire the negative to the motherboard, so this video I'm going to show you how to wire the L1 and L2. Okay, so these are the ROL connections for your RF unit. So this will fade and pulse your ROL board. I mean, if you don't want that, if you really just don't want it to fade or pulse, then ignore this video and don't wire anything to your L1 or L2. I don't know why you wouldn't want it to fade or pulse or do what it's supposed to do, but if you don't, just don't worry about this video. Okay, so you're going to take your RF unit here, and I've got to be very careful since it's already attached and I do not want to lift this pad. So I'll try my best to show you guys what to do without detaching it. Okay, you're going to want to take your RF unit here, and for the L1 pad, go to, well, first of all, flip your RF unit over like it's plugged in, away from the power button side, and down here in the far left corner you're going to see a soldering point, a gold soldering point. It's probably actually copper. It's labeled TP7. That is TP7. You're going to want to solder to that point, your 26 gauge wire. Get a little solder on the tip of your wire and on the point, and you're going to want to solder that. So once you have that wire soldered to that point TP7 down there, just run your wire, make sure you measure it, and get your scissors here and just cut it off. Strip the wire a little bit, and the L1 pad, if you're facing the pulse correctly, this is upside down in the camera view. That's cool, it does the same thing. Wow. I must be retarded to not know that. The L1 pad from left to right is the 5th one. So you're just going to want to solder the other end of your 26 gauge wire to it, and yeah, you should be done. It might take a little trouble, and don't lift the pad like I did. Try not to do that. Okay, now that wire is pretty straightforward. I mean, you're going to have to run it since the ROL board is outside of the actual chassis and it's plugged in between the chassis and the motherboard. You're going to have to run your wires. Try to give you guys a good picture. Okay, so motherboard's in there, right? RF unit plugs in here. You're going to have to run those wires either through here and between these, up and around, and through these holes right here. That was one option. And the other option is running the wires, all the wires right here. You do not place wires anywhere in this area right here, this area here, anywhere above this line either. Do not place wires. What?
I want you to go down and get Debbie and Hannah and tell them that I'll be ready in about 15 minutes.
15 minutes? Okay. Other than that, you're going to want to run, do not place any wires above this line, because you'll need that area. And same with right here. No wires there. These two holes, this right here, and above that line. Okay, so your one option is running them around to the holes. Your other option is running around this plug and up through here. Just making sure to get around that sync button hole right there. Just run them right through there. I think that's what I'm going to do, because I tried wiring it through there. Not much luck, because if you do screw it up, then your wires are pretty much stuck in there. I had to cut my wires to get them out. So try not to... God, people are showing up. Fuck. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to wire the L2. L2 pad is the 6th one from left to right on your pad, on your pulse. And the soldering point for the L2 on your RF unit. Oh my god, I'm running out of battery again. Okay. It's right there. Okay, there's a copper point, just like TP7. This one is called TP11. It's in mid-right of the board where that bottom screw hole is. Just go over to the right a little bit, and it's below a set of transistors to the right. It's called TP11. You should see it pretty well, and I've got to finish up this video. Okay, solder to that point right there. Get solder on your wire, solder on your point, just put it right on there. Measure your wire out, cut it off, solder on the wire, solder on the tip, the L2 pad, and just solder the L2 pad, making sure your wires are out of the way of everything. And my camera's about to run out of battery, so we'll cut this one short, and I'll resume the next video. I'll finish up what we're talking about here, and I'll show you guys the next wires.